And I want to thank Chris and Emily for their extraordinary courage in sharing Max's story. And I want to thank the Ontario Autism Coalition for their tireless advocacy. But we are not here today because of a lack of advocacy. We are here because this government failed to act. We are here today because the unthinkable happened. Every child in Ontario has a right to learn. It is enshrined in both the Education Act and the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act that students with disabilities have the right to attend school without prejudice or discrimination. Max had a right to attend school, the school that he loved, without prejudice and discrimination, and he was denied that right. Because like thousands of students with disabilities across this province, Max was put on a modified schedule. And I want to be clear about what that means. A modified schedule is not flexibility. It means a child being sent home for hours or days because the school cannot keep them safe. And this isn't just happening to Max. The OAC reported that last year alone, approximately 115,000 children experienced this. Arch Disability Law Center found that more than half of students with intellectual disabilities are losing on average nearly 4 of their 6 hours of school day. People for Education reports that in 2024, 63% of Ontario elementary principals reported that they had instructed students with disabilities to stay home because the supports were not available. And that is up 48% from 10 years ago. So this crisis didn't start with this government, but this government chose to make it worse. This government has been in power since before Max was born. 71 out of 72 school boards, including Max's, are spending more on special education than they receive from the province. Let's be precise about this. It's not the schools that are choosing exclusions. They're being forced into them by chronic underfunding by the Conservative government. Educators and education workers are being asked to do more with less, and when something goes wrong, it is the workers, it is the children who bear the risk and the consequences, not the politicians who cut the budgets. Minister Calandra knows that children with disabilities are being excluded from school every single day in Ontario. He knows this, and he has chosen not to act, and that choice has consequences. For Max's family, the consequences are unbearably tragic. Advocates have been warning for years of the pervasive school exclusions that are endangering our most vulnerable children. Just under a year ago, I was in this room with members of the OAC, members of Community Living, as we raised the alarm about the harm of exclusions that are inflicting on Ontario students with disabilities. From this very podium, the community pleaded with the Premier and the Minister of Education to stop the harmful cuts to special education that are putting students with disabilities in harm's way. Had they listened, Max might still be alive. But instead of listening to the disability community, this government is taking every lifeline, including threatening to silence school board trustees, the very people that families turn to as their last line of advocacy. Removing trustees will not fix underfunding. It will only make exclusions more common and families like Max's more isolated. To the parents who are watching and who are being told to keep your child at home, this is not your failure, and you are not alone. What happened to Max was preventable, and the fix is not complicated. Nothing can bring Max back. God, I wish something could. But this government can and must fully fund public education and end the discriminatory practice of forced exclusions in Ontario and guarantee the right of every child to a safe and educational classroom. Because children's lives are depending on it.